Good morning. So we are going to be doing an extended reading based off of yesterday's quick and dirty reading. So make sure, I'll go ahead and put the link up there now. Make sure you jump by and see that because you'll get the kind of overview energy of your element. So just so you know, decks, we used the Fuckery of Fortunes. We got to get a sneak peek at my deck, which is going to Kickstarter Friday, May 1st. This is the EARTHSIDE Divine Tarot. We also used Unspoken Messages of Truth and Love for messages from the universe. And then today we're going to use kind of a hodgepodge of different tarot decks. And I'm going to use the Healed Whole Energy to look at any shadows or light attributes that are taking place, as well as a crystal and an animal for each group. I've not had coffee yet, so I apologize if I am like this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with fire signs. Looking at yesterday's reading, the fortunes that we got are that you embrace your shitty past and heal your inner child. You admit you fucked up, and you stop saying yes to every damn thing you're asked to do. And definitely a healing thread of, kind of came out of this one. And that energy is that, at some point in your childhood, you were taught that you just have to say yes. You just have to do what everybody else wants you to. And now you realize you've been letting people in too much and you fucked up, right? And now it's time to actually face what you're doing this for, what you think you are gaining by saying yes, what you think you are gaining by letting people kind of infiltrate this energy. It's really important that you are really focused on the self-love. We have self-sufficiency here. But this is a time about filling up your own love cup and not saying yes and doing things for other people just because you think it will make them see you in a better light or want to spend more time with you. So we are being asked to find the motivation to fill those cups, to fill those voids within inside of yourself. And the biggest thing here that we get for fire signs is that you are unique, you are different. How you take care of yourself is going to look and feel different as it does for everybody else. It isn't the same for you. So you need to find, and I feel like, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, that because you're a fire sign, that is a very movement-oriented energy, that instead of meditating or taking a quiet time, that actually a type of movement would be very beneficial at this time. So whether it's going for a guided meditation walk or just being outside feels really important to these fire signs right now. So I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot, and I'm going to ask for some more information here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for some past energy. 2 cards for the past. Okay, we have 10 of Cups and King of Wands. And to me, this feels like we're on an endless search to find our bliss. We're doing everything we can. And usually, so Ace of Cups is I'm filling my cup. What I'm getting here, I know this traditionally means ecstasy, joy, bliss, all of this, is working to fill everybody else's cup, trying to fill all the cups. It's also this feeling of like dividing yourself into 10 pieces so everybody gets a little bit of yourself. There is a special message here about family and like just feeling that you have to be and do that confident king. You have to be the one making the decisions. You have to be one making the, not the cut. What is it? You're the one that has to like put the foot down. You're the one who has to kind of do it all. And that feels like this past energy. The other thing that I'm being drawn to is he has this lizard emblem on his shirt, and that's being versatile and, being able to camouflage, being able to adapt, being able to fill in, being able to blend in. But at what expense? Like, at what point do you start losing yourself because you are the chameleon for everybody else? So let's look at the present energies. We have 9 of Swords and we have High Priestess. So we do have some anxiety. We have some sleepless nights. Just some, I always look at this card as fear and depression and anxiety and worrying about what's to come. And that's why you can't sleep. But there's also in here this deep thread to the true self, and even more so to the divine for these fire signs. And if you look at those dots, see? Look at how they go kind of near your ears. And it just feels like you're receiving guidance. You are connected. Don't be anxious about changing roles or changing behaviors, because you are not the same from everybody else around you. I'm going to use a healed whole energy card to see what shadow or light energy this currently is in. All right. So this is a healed whole energy. It's balanced masculine and feminine energy. Contentment, to be present in the moment where peace and love exist and thrive. And that is to say that in this moment, there is no anxiety, because anxiety is fear of the future. Anxiety is fear, it's worry. And if you are here in this moment, you will find peace. You will find contentment. And while that, I feel like, yes, that's a good thing. And that's a piece of advice to saying, be here in the moment. I also feel like that's part of the walls here of like, but I'm okay here. I'm okay right now. And so there needs to be kind of a pushing away of everything else. And I almost see like push down the noise, push down the people, so you have the view and you can really look around and see where you want to move forward. And so let's look at some advice for these fire signs. We have 3 of Swords. We have the Tower. Here's your advice. And we have 6 of Pentacles. Underlying energy is the Chariot. So we do have a forward movement taking place here. We have determination, we have drive, we have this energy that's wanting to move you forward. And what it is saying is, yes, you have to feel what you're feeling. Being in the moment isn't kind of an excuse to just go, well, right here, I'm okay. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to think about that. You actually have to feel what you feel. And the fear is that everything is going to fall apart. But what Spirit is saying, because this is the advice here, is to let it. Let things fall. There is it's the last song in The Greatest Showman. And he says that, like once the smoke cleared, once the rubble was there, he could see what was left. And that's this energy. And when that happens, when you let yourself feel, when you let things fall, they become balanced. But holding on to, okay, everything's fine just right now, isn't the initial energy we get, which is to embrace the past. Embrace your shitty past and heal your inner child. And so this is very much saying to get that balance, to get that reciprocity where you're not saying yes to everything and feeling like a walking doormat, you have to feel what you're feeling. And you have to stop dividing yourself into 10 pieces and letting people take their pick at what they get. And you have to bring it all back in. So let's bring a crystal forward for these fire signs as we move forward. This is the one that wants to come. Mahogany Obsidian. Making decisions is easy and natural for me. This is a good stone for grounding, inner reflection, prioritizing, and decision making. And it helps with the root and sacral chakra. And then we're going to pull an animal. The frog. Cleansing, rebirth, fertility, change, and embracing the unknown. So hopefully that brings a little bit more clarity to those of you who are here for the fire signs. And I'm going to scooch these all to the side and we're going to move now to the water signs. So just making sure I'm laying these out in the correct order. We had yesterday, again, make sure, if you haven't already, to go check out yesterday's video. We had that your quick and dirty was you stop hanging out with self-centered douchebags. You get calm and stop running around like a damn headless chicken. And you put your faith to good use and believe in something positive for once. And there was this energy here that just felt like you are told to be a nice person, and to be a nice person, you let, unfortunately, like energetically, all of these water signs are letting these energy vampires get in. And it's creating this stir of like having to keep moving and having to keep moving, but it's also creating this energy of like, oh, well, this is just the way life is, and I just have to deal with it, and I have to suck it up, and this is what being a mother means, and this is what being an employee means, and no, being treated badly is not just comes with the territory, and you have to really kind of trace back where you started believing that this was okay. And for a lot of people, it's that, well, if I say that it's not okay, I might upset other people. They might not love me as much, or maybe they'll leave. And so there is a fear underneath there, of course. And what we get here in the cards is this is something that you were taught. This is something that your family taught you. You need to keep spending time with these people and let them steal your peace. Because otherwise, if you say something, you're not a good person. And so it's time that we really tap back into the self. Number one, you are worthy of appreciation. Number two, that you begin appreciating yourself. You spend time with people who appreciate you, and that you become the leader of letting other people treat you the way you treat yourself. Because if you keep laying down, they'll keep expecting you to lay down. And yes, there will be people who do not like that you change this, but then they aren't your people. Then they were just using you. And I know that that's hard, and some people don't want to figure that out, but it's an important message. So this is the time for my water signs to really go inside of yourself and realize what you need. Realize that you need to be so self-aware that you realize when these energies are taking from you and tapping from you, or even more so that you're giving to them. And so now is the time to really pull back in and to gain your confidence so that you can step out and know that you will be protected as you begin making these boundaries, and you begin being more confident, and you take charge, and you start having some fun too. The universe is sending you signs. The universe has been sending you signs of, things that you're seeing, things that you're hearing, and it's all this energy of, we're trying to tell you how to get out. We're trying to tell you that this doesn't feel right. And it's always been my favorite story. You've probably heard it 10 times, depending how long you followed me. But, the story of the man who, there's a flood coming and he believes God will save him. And a guy comes and knocks on his door. There's a flood coming. We need to leave. No, God's going to save me. And so then he goes up to the second story window, and a boat comes by the second story window, and it's like, there's a flood. It's here. Jump on the boat. Let's go. No, God's going to save me. And then he's on the roof, and a helicopter comes. Get on the helicopter. This is it. This is it. No, God's going to save me. And then he dies. And so he gets to heaven, and he's like, God, I don't understand. I had such faith in you. I thought you'd save me. And he goes, I sent a messenger, a boat, and a helicopter. What more do you want? So you have to realize that these little things, like these little feelings, these little, they're signs. And they're trying. Nobody's going to come and grab you by the back of your shirt and lift you up and plop you somewhere else. You have to take action on it. You have to make a decision on it. So looking at these energies, which tarot do I want? I'm going to do Ethereal Visions, which if you guys haven't seen, so this is by Matt Hughes. He also is in the process of doing a pre-order of his Dreamscapes Oracle, which is, same type of art, same feeling of art, but it's a little bit darker, and it's pretty cool. All right, so let's get some past energy. Where are we coming from out of this water energy? We have the Queen of Wands again. And then we have the Two of Wands. All right, I'm going to tell you what's coming through here. This really feels like at some point you were confident, water signs. At some point you were confident, and I'm hearing a couple different things. Like I'm hearing that you went after something with such confidence and you were turned down. And so now you're like, well, I'm never going to move towards anything again with that type of confidence. Like confidence is almost like I immediately remember that energy of you put your faith in something good. This is really like, okay, well, I went after what I wanted once and I didn't get it. So I'm never going to go after it again. I was wrong. You weren't wrong. You were being protected. You were being put on the path that you were supposed to be on. So that doesn't mean you give up and you stop trying and you stop being confident and you stop making decisions. Believe in something positive. If something is pushing or pulling you, go after it. And yeah, if you're turned down, then it wasn't the right time, but that doesn't mean you were wrong. That doesn't mean you don't know yourself. It doesn't mean you don't know where you're going. But the other message that's coming through here for these water signs is it's like you build up the confidence and you make a decision, but then you sit and plan on it so long that you lose all the juice. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to move forward on this. This is what I'm feeling. Now let me think about it. Let me plan around it. And then you get so looped into the planning that you end up talking yourself out of it. And that's the past energy here for these water signs that I'm seeing. So what is some present energy? What is some present energy? We have the Empress. Something flipped, I thought. Did you see it? Maybe it didn't flip. There it is. The Five of Wands. Okay. So immediately when I pulled that Empress, oh, I felt self-sabotage. And I know that that's, people are like, oh, the Empress, the beautiful creator. Well, the Empress can create or destroy. She has that power button. It's like Dr. Evil and Austin Powers. You can hit the button and they flip back into the volcano pit. But there's this energy of like, look, I can let the flowers keep growing or I can pluck it. And it's beautiful for a moment, but then it's going to die. I can decide what to put into motion. I can decide what not to. But this really comes forward to me as self-sabotage. This really comes forward as I'm going to put something in motion. And then before I get in too deep, I'm going to stop it. Why? Because I'm comparing myself to others. Because I'm worried about what other people are going to think. I'm worried how people will see me. I'm worried about how I will see myself. I think about what my parents would have said, what my grandparents would have said, what my children will say. What if I don't measure up to the people that I'm comparing myself to? And this really just feels like, okay, I'm not going to say it's just an excuse because you're not just saying it because you don't want to do the work, because that's not it at all. So excuse isn't a good word for here. What it is yes, it is intrinsically tied to a deep-seated trauma, pain, experience. But it is also a fear of your light. I don't feel like it's a fear of failure, okay? I feel like it's a fear of change. I feel like it's a fear of how everybody else is going to view it and what it says about who I am as a human being. Am I being irresponsible? It is a fear of judgment. And ultimately that comes back to you judging yourself and scared to let other people see that you already feel that way. Because when you're really confident in something and when you really know, it doesn't matter what other people think, you're going to go after it anyways. Because that's how you're being pulled. But it's like that planning, that overthinking, worried about how other people are going to see it, worried about how you'll measure up. There is a bigger fear of our light than of our darkness. I personally love the shadows. I do. I have way easier time talking about my shadows than I do my light. But when we embrace our light, when we embrace our strengths, we embrace our talents, we are unstoppable. And then we have to start looking in whether or not we feel worthy or deserving or valuable enough to put this out to the world. That's really what I'm feeling here. It's not a fear of failure. And maybe it's a failure in the eyes of other people, but it's not a fear of you not accomplishing it. It's a fear of you getting it done. And that's why this feels like self-sabotage. So let's look at a healed whole energy card about this. Oh, there's two. And you know what? They're both light attributes here. So the first one is self-awareness. Observing the inner and outer states of being with awakened mindfulness. And maybe part of the problem for these water signs is that you are hyper aware of what everybody else is thinking and feeling, including yourself. But you're putting more weight on other people because other people are everybody else versus one. But this is, definitely being aware, observing the inner and outer states of being with an awakened mindfulness. Stability, fearlessly relying on your inner compass of virtues to navigate your life. Wow. So we talked about this yesterday in the Quick and Dirty. Hierophant, virtues is right on that card. Virtues and ideals. And we talked about briefly yesterday how we take the morals and virtues and beliefs of our parents and our ancestors and we carry them as our own. And you don't have to. And so for this is like, no, I'm relying on my virtues. No, you're relying on your family's virtues. You're relying on the virtues you were taught. Now, what about yours? Get into that self-awareness and tap into you and your awareness and realize what's yours and what's not. I know we keep talking a lot about energy vampires, that there's like blurred lines here, but that's really what this feels like. All right, so let's get some advice energies for, something flipped again. Ooh, where is it? Oh well, keep shuffling till I see it. All right, some advice for my water signs. Page of Swords, the Moon. Underlying energy is Six of Wands. Return home to you. You will be victorious. We had Six of Wands in this energy too. Victory, recognition, appreciation, praise, leadership, success. Look at everybody cheering this person on. This is such an energy of you are thinking that people are going to shut you out for going after you, but people will celebrate it because they're waiting for you to emerge you. They really are. And I know you go, oh no, the people I'm taking care of want me to take care of them. I get it, but they love you. And the people who love you want you to be happy. Page of Swords is having a new idea. Look at how she has this new idea here, but she's still looking behind her. So much energy of looking behind. What will everybody else behind me think? Who cares if you're the one leading the way? Right? If you're the one leading the way, who cares what everybody else is doing behind you? And I know that's not true, especially for my water signs. I'm Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon. I get it. Okay. Like if you're leading the traffic, you're making sure, you're pulling over to the side, making sure everybody's behind you. But this is so much like you have the new idea. You have the idea. You have it all in your hand. Stop looking behind you. I know that things might feel unknown. I know that things feel like a cycle. I almost feel like this feels like you're underwater, right? The tides. But Spirit is really saying that that's because you need to come home. Home is a symbol. When you have a dream about a house, it's about you. It's about your body, your insides, your emotions. And so this is about, even if you don't know where it will lead, go within. Stop looking behind you. Start looking at what's in your hand. Look at your gifts. Look at your desires. So let's get a crystal for these people's rose quartz. Okay. I completely love and accept myself and others. Self-esteem, romantic love, compassion, emotions. I also got something else that just popped up there, is that there are people who would rather be angry at themselves for giving themselves away than to be angry at the people who take. And that needs to be reevaluated. All right, animal. Ooh, buffalo fell. Gratitude, abundance, consistency, strength, and blessings. Be grateful for what you've experienced. Be grateful for what you're learning, but then be able to turn around and be grateful for you and the decisions on how you move forward with what you can see now that you maybe not have seen before with that moon energy. All right, so let's now jump to air signs. Let me pull these out. So yesterday we had you empower and inspire others with your unicorn ass. You take a well-deserved break. And you finally see your potential. Hallelujah. This really felt like yesterday that I feel like a lot of my air signs are in leadership positions. They're sharing a lot. They're doing a lot of, I don't want to say they're doing a lot of work, but they're doing a lot of sharing for sure. No, the air signs are doing work because I'm doing work and I'm an air sign. But it's this idea of you have to take a break. You can't always be on, right? You can't always be like on call, on cue, and, on book, waiting to go. You need to take a break. This is an important integration period. And this came forward yesterday. And I was talking to the goddess Kai over at Visions Tarot. And we were talking about how this is like a cocooning. And that by being kind of pulled back and inside of ourselves and not forcing action, that this is a cocooning taking place for us. It's what's taking place for, our family and our counterparts and our, anybody who energetically heart cord connected to. We have to pull back and listen to these cues of taking a break, of letting our bodies rest and recover. And that is when you will finally see your potential. That is when you finally see, number one, how hard you've been working. When you start seeing how much you do for other people, how much you help other people, and you start seeing the good in you, which is needed, air signs, because I think you're beating yourself up a little bit too much right now. But we have this energy of plant the seeds and then don't uncover them every day to see how they're growing. Let things rest. Set it in motion. And then, which energy was this? Or I don't know which order we were in. I think the Knight of Cups might have been next. But you have the strength. You have the ability to go, you know what? Use positive. I keep looking at the mind for matter. Use positive affirmations. If you keep thinking about something you don't want to think about, if you keep kind of beating yourself up about not having the energy to take action right now, think of a mantra. Think of an affirmation that can really, I honor my time of rest. Resting now will allow for action later. Anything that helps you to really just kind of get into this moment and go, it's okay. This is also about having the willpower and the inner harmony to really know that strength doesn't have to be assertive. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to be in your face. The strength card, the reason you always see strength cards with a lion and a feminine energy, usually kind of like pinching the lion's mouth shut, is because it's saying, I don't need to be brutal. My strength is in my gentleness. My strength is in my stepping back. My strength is in my compassion. It's in my femininity. It's in my empathy, in my intuitiveness. So take this break, pull back, air signs, so that you can really tap into your potential of being a very powerful, a very strengthy, compassionate energy for yourself and others. And that's why we also have the Knight of Cups here, because what can we offer? What can we offer up and out? I want to make sure that these cards didn't get, no, they didn't. I'm not really remembering these cards from yesterday. Warmth. I know we talked about warmth, about how we have to create, when we plant seeds, we have to give them sun and soil and water, and they need time to grow. And so the Knight of Cups is about offering yourself warmth and joy and following your heart and honor your sensitivity. And what that's going to do is when you're ready to come out of this break period, when you are no longer forcing yourself to act, then you come into Ace of Pentacles, a new idea, prosperity, material growth, a gift, fertility, stability. This is not a time of idleness. This is a time of fertility. This is a time of growth, and you have to slow down. Now, we got with that Knight of Cups, follow your heart. And then we also get from the universe, follow your heart no matter what. Listen to the beating. That was weird, the way that came out of my mouth. Listen to the beating of your heart. And while that is important, also listen to the spaces in between the beats, because guess what? They're just as important. If your heart doesn't stop the flow of blood, right? If it was just a constant shh, we wouldn't work. If there's no flow of blood, there's also no work. We have to poo-poo, stop, poo-poo, stop, poo-poo, stop. The rest between the beats is just as vital as the beats. All right, let's grab a tarot. This is True North. So, I wasn't asking a question yet, so those don't count. What is the past energy for these air signs? Come on. There. Same exact cards. I kid you not. All right. So we have Ace of Coins again. So Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. The past, we've been really, really focused on when can I plant something new? How can I move on a new adventure? When am I going to go? When am I, like all of this, like, okay, I'm going to plan it. I'm going to go. I'm going to get wealthy. I'm going to get famous. I'm going to do all of this. And I'm not saying that all air signs want to be wealthy and famous. What I'm saying here is it's like a mile a minute. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plant this seed. I have a new idea. That's an air sign thing, right? New ideas. Here's a new idea. How can I go after it? What am I going to do? And that's all about action. And then we have the 10 of Coins, which is about leaving a legacy. And so it feels like air signs in recent past have really been focused about what seeds can I plant to reach my material bliss? How can I create a financial legacy? How can I create a life that I am proud of leaving for others? There is more of a materialistic thing here for some people, not so much about like, how are people going to remember me? How can I be significant? I don't want to be forgotten. I want to make sure I'm making an impact. I want to change and help people. Let's be wary of the change there. But to help create change is more of a better terminology there, though for some of you, making others change might be in line. But there's this energy also of, no, like, there could be in recent past a lot of air signs who are like, all right, and now I need to make money. Like I've been doing this long enough. I need to create, what is it? Like a nest egg? I don't know if that's the term for it. Like I need to create something that I can lean into, and I need to propel myself forward in my finances. The material has really jumped out in the past for these air signs. So what's the present energy for these air signs? We have 7 of Wands and 6 of Swords. So 7 of Wands in this deck, it's rise above, escape the noise. Get up and away from the heat, from the constant criticism. That's from yourself as well as others. Like stop criticizing yourself. Stop listening to people criticize you. There is definitely an energy here of like, if people, all they do is sit there and tell you what they don't like about you, then why are they here? And why are you continuing to let them be in your life if all they do is tell you everything that they hate about you? This is an opportunity to rise above that. It's an opportunity to take the high road, and it's an opportunity to move towards smoother waters, to relish in peace and in tranquility, to get still enough, take that break, to really be able to reflect, to really be able to hear yourself and not hear everything else. And I feel like for the air signs, there's this constant mind chatter going on. But what is the true voice? Is it in the head, or is it in the heart, or where is it in your body? It's going to be different for everybody. But if you really sat there, or air signs, and you said, okay, where is my true voice? Where is my soul voice? Where is it located? And wherever came to mind, wherever lit up, wherever tingled, wherever you saw, wherever, anywhere, anything, that's where that voice is. And maybe, I don't think it's going to be too many of you. Maybe some of you feel it in your head. But I think a lot of people are going to feel it elsewhere, because the head is just this energy. This is where we connect to everything. Where do we connect to just us? This energy really is about moving away. And maybe that's a message for somebody who is thinking about moving. But moving away and being still enough, being quiet enough to really hear you. All right, so let's get a healed whole energy card. See energetically. We have healed whole, healing. Complete surrender into awareness, acceptance, and transmutation. Surrender, you guys. Surrender means to give up the fight. And when you give up the fight, it stops fighting you. Surrender means inaction. That's what this entire reading is about. Stop fighting so hard. Stop holding on so much. Stop thinking that you have to do to make a difference. Just being is enough. So let's get some advice. Whoa, that was the Fool that jumped out of there. The Fool, your divinity in disguise. Move now. Now, we're not being told to move right now. That's not truly the advice. When we created this, the whole quote didn't fit here. And the person who submitted this card, this is a collaborative deck. So there's over 60 different contributors. That's why you see different images and initials on the cards. It was, it was something like your divinity in disguise, move towards your light. And that's more of what this card is saying, is it's like your light will always guide you. Your true self will always guide you. And you need to move to that, not necessarily like move, take action. There is a message here, however. There is somebody who's been thinking about moving, and that's coming up pretty strong. Okay. So then the next piece of advice that we get is explore life from a higher perspective. This is Page of Swords. You need to look at things differently. You need to see things differently. There needs to be a healing of this underlying energy that says, oh, I always have to be doing, I always have to be thinking, I always have to be talking, I always have to be sharing to be significant and to make a difference. And that's not what this energy is saying. It's saying you are more impactful when you show others that it's okay to pull back and rest and to get quiet enough to feel your own healing process, the awareness, the acceptance, the transmutation. The underlying energy here is King of Cups, love with an open heart. And so that's not saying love with your words. That's not saying love with your actions. That's saying feel. Let yourself feel. And if you're always running around, doing other things, keeping yourself busy, always talking, you aren't feeling. Or at least not feeling very well. Play on words. If you're always moving, you might not be feeling well. And then you might not be feeling to the capacity that you need to. All right, here's the crystal for my air signs. Golden tiger eye. Stand proud. I stand proud of my virtue. It boosts creativity. Travel protection. There's something here. Willpower and abundance. Here's what I'm going to say about this energy. And it's happening for more signs than just earth signs. But this energy to pull back and to not force action, it's you know, I saw the card willpower, and it's like, use your willpower to stay quiet. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. That's actually the opposite. Oh, yeah, hiccups. It's this energy of, if you don't feel it, don't do it. And if you're motivated to do it, do it. You don't need to will yourself into taking a break. You might need to go, okay, no, I'm going to schedule some time to take 15 minutes, you know. But you don't need to go, well, I feel so inspired today, but I'm going to force myself to rest. That's not what I'm saying. But there's also an important message here for air signs. That is it that you feel inspired, or is it that you're uncomfortable without movement, without action, without words? And how to determine the difference between those sensations. All right, an animal card for my air signs. Of course, like the unicorn popped on top. I'm not gonna look. All right, this one, the bear. Patience, contemplation, confidence, protection, warrior. That's the last thing that air signs need to hear, actually, is that whatever it is you're working on, that thing that you were pushing towards, it's protected. It doesn't just go away because you decided to take a break. Now, you take a 5-year break, there will be some tweaking that needs to take place, but they're saying, like, you don't need to sit here and go, well, everything I've worked towards is gone if I give up now. You're not giving up. You're giving yourself time to feel and to relax so you can better move forward with this when it's time. Okay, so earth signs, we had you act spontaneously and stop being a boring twat. You heal your life because you're a fucking wizard. And you stop being a lying asshole and own up to your bullshit. Okay. Then we had, I'm trying to think of which way this all went because we have a lot of cards. Oh, it's because we looked at underlying energies. That's exactly what it is. Okay, now I remember. Okay. So we had for my earth signs this energy of like dedication, craftsmanship. Let me start with the messages first. I was getting ahead of myself. My earth signs have been very rigid and like, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to plan ahead. Here's the box. Here's the box. Here's the box, everybody. Here's the box. This is the box that I'm working within. If you would like to work within this box, you need to come in my box, my rules, my time. And this energy was really saying, you know, you can heal a lot by thinking outside of the box. And that doesn't mean that there aren't earth signs that are creative. There are, but they're creative on their own terms. And this is an opportunity for earth signs to really try things that are new, to kind of break out of that and it might not feel confining, it might feel safe, but it is confining to some extent. And to begin to see that you have the ability to heal, and that maybe this structure, I know it's part of, you know, the earth sign quality in wanting structure, but that the structure might be keeping you from what you actually want to go after for your life. And this stop being a lying asshole and own up to your bullshit. Yes, there is an element there of like, okay, you need to own up. Okay, you might have done something wrong. I think the last reading we did on this one was like, you admit you fucked up. But the other energy that's here is like, stop lying to yourself. Stop telling yourself that you are better without this, or you're better with it, or whatever illusion that you're painting here. That's your way of going, no, it was really my idea, right? No, that's in the box. It's good. Oh, I really wanted that, and then I didn't go after it, and now I'm going to tell myself that was fate, and everything is fine, and that's how my life was supposed to go. And it was that energy of like, no, life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you, and life didn't get in the way. You made a decision based on life, and that's how you keep yourself in this feeling of like, no, that's what was supposed to happen because it happened. Well, you also made a decision about it. Stop lying to yourself. Own up to your bullshit. Own up to the fact that you just like to make it feel like everything is organized and well put together, even when it's not. So there is this energy for earth signs is 8 of Pentacles, craftsmanship, dedication, talent, contemplation, hard work, and ambition. This is totally, that workaholic earth energy. Got to keep going, got to keep going. That Energizer Bunny energy. But this kind of came up of like, if you dedicate yourself to healing your life, if you dedicate yourself, look at the violin's open. If you take off the cover, you take off the mask, you remove the walls of the box, you put the calendar to the side, you will begin to see what it feels like and how freeing it could be if you dedicate yourself to this and to this. And you no longer convince yourself of what you feel, but you actually feel. And that is going to bring a breakthrough for these earth signs. That is going to allow you to see things differently, to have a fresh perspective, and then therefore like not get freaked out when there isn't a plan or a calendar or, all of those sorts of things. The breakthrough gives you a new beginning. Look at the basket of eggs. There are Easter eggs in these cards. I have animal symbolism, I have all, plant symbolism, all of this stuff, but like there's little Easter eggs in every single card. For example, did you notice the turtle on the table? So, what this does is it allows you to break through the woundedness, the life lessons, the adversity, the restrictions. And that's what, this energy of like, here's my box. Here's how things are going to go. Here's how things are going. If it doesn't fit inside the box, then I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to compartmentalize it. I'm going to, whatever. This is saying you view it as structure. You see it as safety. But it's a restriction. It's also keeping you in, right? Like when we create walls, we keep things out, but we also keep things in. And so we might think, there's some earth signs out there that think like, I'm just gonna keep convincing myself. I'm just gonna keep convincing myself. And that's gonna push it out of my box. Well, that's not how it works. If everything's in your box, that's not how it works. What are you doing? You're actually just shoving it deeper into your box, into the foundation of your box. I keep saying box. And so it's actually a restriction. It's actually just pushing it further and further inside of yourself, and then it's going to root in, and then it's going to grow, and it's going to fight back. And I know that that's not what these earth signs want, because they want control, and that's not control. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I hope you know that. This is just saying that the way you've always done it is it could be boring, but the way you've always done it isn't going to make you heal. The way you've always done it needs to be shaken up so you can step into your wizard energy and you can own up to the actions and thoughts and all of that you've put yourself through. And yesterday I didn't get a chance to I forgot to pull a message from the universe. This was it. I pulled it, but I forgot to say it. You're going to heal. The universe is saying you are going to heal, but you can't keep convincing yourself and just telling yourself that, well, no, that's fine. This is how the universe wanted. You have to own what you feel. The other thing that we had for the underlying energy was, this is childhood wounds. This is the belief that, somebody along the line taught you along of this, but there's also this energy to be more playful and to get grounded into your heart and to see things from your heart and not just your head or your wallet or your anything else. I was trying to go through coins is wallet, head is, what's the other one? Or fire, passion. And that it's time to make the tough decisions. Not everything is just desserts. And so it's time to get out of the fantasy. It's time to get out of the fantasy. So let's look at, we'll do the Fountain Tarot. I have to clean up like a lot of cards when this is all over, you guys. So what is the past energy for these signs? Page of Swords. Wow, we got Page of Swords for at least 3 of the signs, I think. So in the past, it was like, okay, look at how the sword is see-through. He's like, this is my truth, but I don't feel like it's concrete, and therefore I'm not going to honor it. I'm just going to look past it. And then we had 3 of Cups. I get a couple different energies from this. I get this idea of like, I'm trying to identify my truth, but I can't. Like I'm having a really hard time identifying what I feel versus what I'm doing for other people and how I think other people are going to react. There's also with that with that 6 of Cups energy, like taking your own parents' beliefs, taking your own family's beliefs, taking the people who are important to you, their beliefs into more consideration than your own. And so it's like you look past your own thoughts and ideas and beliefs, so there's triumph. Oh, there's a message here. It's like, oh, it's for people who have like past parents. You're not honoring your parent by carrying their limited mindsets for them. That doesn't honor them. That doesn't like continue their legacy for you to keep carrying broken and limiting mindsets. They want you to break it. They couldn't. And now you get to. You don't have to keep carrying that for them to honor their presence, their memory. And then we have the 3 of Cups. I feel 2 different things here. I feel for some of you, this past energy is like, I was honoring everybody else's truths and beliefs and I didn't know my truth. And so I kind of just was doing things to have fun. I wasn't taking things very seriously, which doesn't feel very earth sign, but it just feels kind of like divided. My heart's divided. My heart's divided beside what I want, what they want, and what they want. That's one of the energies. The others was that, like what I already said, it's like I just want to be playful and fun and like not take things too seriously. I'm not going to worry about my healing too seriously, right? Like we're all going to die. None of us get out of this alive. We might as well just have fun. And that's that avoidance. That's that convincing yourself thing. So what is the present energy here? Queen of Wands. Wow, we got Queen of Wands for another one too, for water. And King of Wands. Wow. Okay. I need to ask a clarifier on this because now we have balanced masculine and feminine energies. We have suited royals, king and queen here. That feels like alignment to me. That feels like letting ourselves feel and think, letting ourselves move and rest. This feels balanced. Why are these cards here? 4 of Coins, holding on. Why is this 4 of Coins here? The Hierophant. Six of Cups is at the bottom of the deck again. Could the King and Queen of Wands be parents that were holding on to their ideals, to their values? This came up in another reading too. I think it was water, my water and earth lining up here. Part of this feels like I am holding on to what the king and queen taught me. Because that was their belief. That was their foundation here. The other thing is it could be, holding on to a partnership, holding on to a relationship, thinking that there is something they have to accomplish. And that could be it too. I'm feeling like there is a contract here that needs to be complete. There is a karmic cycle here that needs to run out. from childhood in order to perfectly balance the king and queen energy. I'm going to ask for one other clarifier here. There is a message here specific for someone, okay? Because we got that Three of Cups energy, and I kind of felt like this was like a division of the heart, right? Well, now we have, here's the King and Queen of Wands. Here's this perfect suited match. And then the clarifier was the Queen of Coins. And that to me just kind of feels like, for somebody specific, if it resonates for you, that this earth sign, you know, there was more love than just one-on-one. And they're having a really hard time letting go because this is known. This is suited. These are the same suit. This is, we have the same, you know, maybe it's we made a commitment and we have the same life because we live together. Maybe we have the same trauma from childhood and I'm holding on to it because this is something new. Because this is uncertain. This is unknown. I know this. You act spontaneously and stop being a boring twat. You get out of the box. There's something there for somebody. All right, let's look at some advice energy. High Priestess and Temperance. Underlying energy is Three of Coins. Working together. Feel like earth signs could really benefit from reaching out to an expert, a counselor, a healer, somebody like that, somebody to talk to. I know that that's like you're gonna drag your feet to get that done. But feeling like there's some, you know, something that could really help there. And underneath that is the Ten of Coins, and underneath that is the Moon. Talking with somebody else could really help you uncover what you really want for your life, what you really want to create. Okay? And the advice here is to get quiet, to get still, to tap into your intuition, and to really focus on your healing. Not what you want to project out, not what's been projected onto you, not carrying these thoughts and beliefs of everybody around you and thinking that you're honoring people by honoring their traumas. You living aligned to their trauma as to not trigger them isn't really helping them or yourself. This is a time of healing. This is a time of moderation. This is a time of getting in tune with your true self, not the projection, not the expectations. So let's look at, I forgot to pull a healed whole energy there. Logical, gathering data through inner and outer exploration to make grounded decisions. And just to be a no shadow energy here. We all had light energy, which tells me, you know, that there might be some transmutation of shadow energy into the light. And this is logic. Earth signs using their logic here. They're looking at everything and going, no, I'm going to make a grounded decision. Well, that's where they are. That's where their present energy is. And the advice here is you're going to stop being boring and start doing things spontaneously, and we're going to make it happen if you don't choose to do it on your own. So what is the crystal here for these earth signs? Snowflake obsidian. I am supported in all ways. Purity. Balance of mind, body, and spirit. Centering and supportive. That's for all chakras. And an animal for these earth signs. The otter. Creativity, transition, joy, friendship, and playfulness. So there definitely is a lighten up. And it's not that you can't take things seriously, but it's, you're here to live. You're not here to die. All right, guys, that was a long reading. Some of you, a lot of you were like, we want a longer reading. So there is the full-on extended version. These will be in the future part of a Patreon or a pay-to-watch thing. But for now, I wanted to go ahead and offer you guys that up for any of you who felt they needed that extra guidance. So I hope this is resonating with you. If it does, comment and like. If you are new here, please subscribe and come visit me on my Instagram at Channeling the Sireness. All my love.